Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reed's Rogues Reviews right here on SpiderManCrawlspace.com. Well, it's been a while since I've been able to do. As many people know, I did experience some unfortunate tragedies in my life back when I was originally going to do my review after I did the Rhino, and I am finally getting around to doing my next Reed's Rogues Reviews. I'm hoping to continue this monthly here. I already got next month's already planned. So let's get into today's one here for July 2025. This, of course, we'll go to Itsy Bitsy. Yes, the Spider-Man Rogues character who has not been seen in quite a few years here. And of course, just recently is showing up in the current Joe Kelly run on Amazing Spider-Man. So who is Itsy Bitsy? I actually have quite a few positives to say with this Spider-Man Rogue who's only been around. So the origin of Itsy Bitsy, well, originally, she was actually a homeless drug addict that was discovered by Agent Zero, better known as Weasel from the Deadpool original series by Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness. So, of course, this was the thing. She was, of course, created, and her real name is, from what we know, is Susan Mary. We do not know if that's her real name, but it is her alias. She first appeared in Spider-Man Deadpool #8 in August 2016 and actually continued to be a villain there for the first half of the run there with Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness up until the story arc ended up in issue 25. She was, of course, created by Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness there. Of course, they were the original runs on the Deadpool series and everything else. So these two have really worked very well on everything on that too. So the design here, Ed McGuinness had said in many interviews that he really wanted to kind of combine the two characters with a much more modern, sleeker kind of gamer drug addict look for the time. And Joe Kelly wanted to actually see what it would be like if you took two of his favorite characters from Marvel Comics and put them together, and what would you get? And that's sort of thing. And she is a very unique character. She, of course, was created from technically two heroes, or an anti-hero and a regular hero, as Susan Mary was by Weasel here, which is using DNA from both Deadpool and Spider-Man. So she's actually got a very low area too. She's got a very constant. Her powers are pretty interesting. She has a pheromone control that can actually cause people to go crazy. That has been recently in the Amazing Spider-Man arc. She has gotten more punt and pencil. She has the ability not only to create organic webbing, but she can actually regenerate almost from anything. In fact, if only a small piece is left of her, she completely can regenerate her entire body, which was very interesting too. She basically has this very love kind of attraction, hatred towards Spider-Man Deadpool, a little bit more towards Spider-Man due to the DNA from Deadpool, as a lot of Wade Wilson's area codes and thought processes are more enhanced with her. She, of course, had suffered brain damage from her drug heroin uses, and of course, Weasel had pushed that over. She's only really appeared in two major story arcs. Of course, like I said, Isn't It Romantic, which is the original first story arcs from Spider-Man Deadpool by Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness that was put in here. And her last appearance was in Spider-Man Deadpool #25, where she was basically blown up, but it was actually a small part of her survived and actually started growing back. She actually is able to regenerate any limbs or loss of things, very similar to Deadpool and how that works here. And of course, she was recently hired by not only the Hobgoblin, but whoever his mysterious capitalist villain that's hiding in the background in the current story are. I just use that because that's how they describe him. So she really has not been around very much. She has very dark areas too. And what's so interesting about her is why she wants Deadpool and Spider-Man dead, especially more Spider-Man, even calls them daddy. She actually can't bring herself to do it. There's some moral ambiguity in her that still will not let it go. So it's very interesting, but she's only really been in two stories in the last 10 years. But she has a very original push on her and everything else. And like I said, she is unstable, as I can hear with the images. She can regenerate herself from the most smallest peak. And in this case, it was a small piece of one of her fingers that actually regrew into everything and regenerated where she could tour an area. She's got very thing in Dimes Eason. She's able to have enhanced abilities not only as a spider, but also has enhanced fighting and agility. She's very, very interesting villain. She's got a Vermont thing. There is a little bit more coming up with her in the future and everything else too. So she will be around a little bit more coming up in later story arcs once we get past the Hellgate and the Cosmic Spider-Man story, whatever Joe Kelly is planning with the main part here with the Queen's Cola and the Hobgoblin. So we will see more of her and everything else too. So she will be showing up a little bit more later on, probably about late fall, early winter in Amazing Spider-Man. So she's got a thing. I've always really liked the character. She's very interesting. I've always also thought she's got a kind of a very interesting fixation of why she does not like Spider-Man or Deadpool, even though she's more fixated on Spider-Man because of his own broken heart in areas where Deadpool's more had a life, and the fact that he is able to keep things kind of going and fly with it. Where with Spider-Man, it's a very strange connection because one way he wants to help her, she did have a choice of who she became as a bad guy, but at the same time is it of course sees her as a villain in her own making and works so. So it's a very interesting piece here. I've always kind of liked the character. I think they can do a little bit more. And with the original writer, with Joe Kelly, who really kind of set it up, and Ed McGuinness working on that piece too, even though Paco LaRocca is going to be working more on the artist style of that Amazing Spider-Man. I do like his redesign of updating her instead of, like I said, looking like I said it was a street drug addict and putting her into more of a villain kind of web warrior, which I really kind of like, and the fact she's evil. So that I think is all I'm going to do here for Reed's Rogues review here. I thank you too. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe to the channel. We'll have more coming up here in August where I will review our favorite goblin himself. That's right, Roderick Kingsley, aka the Hobgoblin, will be the next Rogues review. Until then, everybody, I will talk to you later.